we're going to look at the new Wolverine game, right? Wolverine is a cool character. Who doesn't like Wolverine? Wolverine, it's just fun to say. Wolverine. I'm going to come at it from a completely unbiased point of view. I love video games. I absolutely love video games, and I'm dying for good video games, dying for the next good video game. And you know what? I like Wolverine. If you make a good Wolverine game, I will play it and I will enjoy it. Okay. So, without further ado, here we go. Very cinematic. I like it.
Hi, I'm Marcus Smith, creative director for Marvel's Wolverine.
Oh.
Today, we're excited to debut a new look at the game.
Okay.
To set the stage, Wolverine is in a race against time to rescue a group of kidnapped mutants before they're shipped off to parts unknown.
So far, I don't have any major issue with this. You can imagine his friends, the people he cares about, have been kidnapped, and now it's up to Wolverine to save them. Who would have an issue with that? It's a cool scenario, right? Perfect scenario for Wolverine to do his thing, right?
Cybernetically enhanced mercenaries, known as the Reavers. However, Logan quickly discovers he isn't the only mutant attempting to save them. Let's take a look.
Okay, so there's going to be friends along the way. Okay. It's our first look. Oh, I'm already seeing it. All right, first shot. My opinion is I just can't help but think, I mean, I'm probably going to say this a lot here, but when you think of the coolest Wolverine out there, what do you think of? Because to me, there is no cooler version with a lot of these characters. Name them, Batman, Superman. There's not really any cooler version than the comic book version. Have you seen the comic version? Of course you've seen the comic book version. Do I have to refresh your memory? Here we go. Memory refreshing time. I've already got it ready because I knew I was going to need this. Let's just take a peek at this one. Okay. Let's just take a peek at this one. Okay. Here we go. This is just one. You tell me that this isn't as cool as this, and I'll point out that you're a liar, okay? Because this is way cooler, okay? Why? Because it's more, it brings your imagination out a lot more, right? With the comic book style, you can exaggerate, right? These type of heroes play perfectly into an art form where you can exaggerate a little bit. You can make the muscles a little bigger, a little bulkier, right? The problem I have with this style is, with this style, just like the Wolverine movies, you have to try to ask yourself, what would a real human being who's Wolverine look like? And then the problem with that is that, yeah, you're going to come up with this, some armed guy who's in pretty good shape, but it's not that exaggerated, like, holy shit, you know? That's what I want to say. When I see Wolverine, I want to go, holy shit, that guy looks fucking awesome, you know? Is that so much to ask? You tell me if this is too much to ask. When I see Wolverine or any character, is it so much to ask for me to go, holy shit, that's awesome? Right? Is that so much? All right, anyway. So already, and honestly, visually it looks pretty good, but I'm sensing a restriction, a future restriction. Meaning already they're not going to be able to take this game to the places I want them to be able to go with it in terms of the really over-the-top animated Wolverine comic book action and style, because they're trying to fit it in a real life bubble, which is what they do with all these new movies, these new superhero movies. They think it's cool to bring it. I don't know, Christopher Nolan ruined everybody, right? Everyone's trying to but what if this was the real universe? Like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to. Don't get caught in the trap. Ask yourself, if I do this in the real world, how much will I be restricted to actually be able to tell this story the way I want to? And if it's a lot of restrictions, then why do it, right? You don't have to do this. That's my bigger point here. You don't have to make it this way. You could make it any way you want, right? I think of that Spider-Verse movie, right? They decided to take Spider-Man in a more animated direction, but because they did that and they went with a different art style, they could really bring home that kind of larger-than-life comic book style for Spider-Man. So we're, literally 1 second into the footage and I've already stopped for 20 minutes. I apologize. Here we go.
Oh, let's see if we can find the one that got away.
Okay, what's going on with his head? Why does it look like Jake Gyllenhaal's playing him? I'm just gonna go back to the comparison again. Ready? Like already, look at his mask. It's more exaggerated. Look at his muscles, more exaggerated. Like this just looks like a guy in a suit. And yeah, this is a guy in a suit, but this is the coolest guy you've ever seen in a suit with the biggest glutes and hammies you've ever seen in your life. And the suit looks a little bit more like he can move however he wants in it. This looks like, the first Batman movies, he's like, there's no mobility, right? All right, let's keep going.
Redhead. Might be our only lead.
Not absolutely terrible though, okay? I'm gonna just say that right now. It's not absolutely terrible. Let's get my stuff set up here.
Looks like she took off into the industrial park.
Okay, not terrible. I'm still open to it, okay? You haven't lost me yet.
All right, let's search the area.
Okay.
Status update.
Perimeter stable. Holding position.
Okay. Are you surprised that I stopped here? Anyone out there surprised that I stopped at this point? What do you think that I'm going to say right now? What do you think that I'm going to say? What do you feel right now? What's your feelings? They've been doing this for a while with characters and games, not just games, movies, TV shows, which is, there's a tastefulness to art, right? There's a tastefulness. There's a reason why we call these people our heroes. There's a reason why we look up to them, right? Not that they're not flawed. Wolverine, we know he's he's known for being at the bar, being a bit of like a rugged guy, And I'm sure he's done some bad stuff in his past, just like all these people, right? But the reason why we call them heroes, the reason why we look up to them and we go, Wolverine is a hero. He's someone that I look up to and I wish I was like him, right? And what do you think the number one trait would be? Probably goodness in his heart, right? And that's a key factor, because even all these heroes, even if they're rugged, even if they have a bad past, they have ghosts, they're running, they've done terrible things. You see the light in their heart. You see the goodness in their heart, right? That comes through, right? Wolverine would save a little boy who's in trouble, right? Wolverine wouldn't just go, fuck the little boy, right? He wouldn't. He would save the little boy. And that's so no matter how rugged and beastly he is and all the shit he's done in his past, you go, you know what? I see the goodness, and the goodness wants to come out, and you watch them grow. And this is clearly a Wolverine he's the character now, right? He's got the costume and everything. So this isn't like early years Logan making terrible mistakes that are going to haunt him for the rest of his life. He's Wolverine now. Okay. He's got his claws completely spearing and skewering this nice lady's brain right now with more blood than in the fucking Red Wedding of Game of Thrones, okay? If you don't know what that is, look it up. Lots of blood, okay? That's why it's called the Red Wedding. Does anyone have a problem with this? Does anyone feel like this is not tasteful? Does anyone feel like there's another way? You ever hear of MacGyver? MacGyver saved the day without throwing a fucking punch. He used like duct tape and rope and he saves the day, right? Chuck Norris just has to throw a good roundhouse kick, and it's usually to some dude who had it coming, right? This is just murder after murder after murder, and not just poisoning, not just a punch to the face, not a thrown off a cliff, but the most gory, gruesome murder you can possibly imagine. And our hero is going to, I'm going to assume he's going to go on an absolute murder spree, right? And this is the weird vision that I don't understand. So he's supposed to be a moral compass for us, right? Because he's a hero. That's what he is. He's not a villain. This, to me, this screams villain. Wouldn't the rest of the world and the mutants look at this and go, Logan, like, couldn't you go around the complex? Couldn't you take the intelligent way to get there? Do you have to, like, almost purposely kill as if you're a fucking psychopath? Listen, I could have went around. I'm super fast. I'm a Wolverine. And I'm super strong, meaning that I can literally take bullets and it'll heal and the bullet will get thrown out of me. But I just need to stop over here and skewer this lady's brain real quick. How is this the moral hero that we want, right? And I know why they're doing it. They just want to showcase what Wolverine could potentially do. Well, you know what? What could Superman potentially do? Do you want to see how brutal Superman could kill someone? He could just fucking clap them into a cloud of fucking red dust, right? Red fucking mist. But do we want to see Superman do that? Even to a goon, right? Would Superman, read the comics, would Superman just go around clapping all the goons' heads into a red mist? Clap, 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 clap. No, he tries to go out of his way. Now, here's a hot take. Here's a hot opinion. He tries to go out of his way to kill the least amount of people possible. I'll even go further, to hurt the least amount of people possible to achieve his goal. That's a solid moral compass. That's a moral framework. That's a hero. That's someone who has compassion even for the bad guys and goes, I don't want to hurt anybody, even the bad guys. I just want them to not hurt these people. So I'm going to do everything I can. And here's the intelligence part. How do you do it, right? That's the strategy. And that's the fun of writing a story. How would you go about saving the day while killing the least amount of people possible? It's not like there's zero deaths, right? Deaths happen even in the comic books, but it's a bigger deal. It's a bigger deal. They're trying to turn us into sociopaths watching this shit. I'm sorry. I know we're 5 seconds into this clip, but this is already making me not want to play this game. Like, I know it sounds silly, but like, do you see Wolverine doing this? The real hero Wolverine, the guy who would save a little boy who's, about to get hit by a bus. He'd jump in front of that bus, push the little boy out, and get hit by the bus himself to save the little boy. That's a good-hearted person, right? Now, look at my screen right now. Yeah, I think she's fucking dead. All right, let's keep going. Oh, God. I fucking stabbed her vagina. You can't make this up. So nasty, just nasty, right? First of all, let me just see here. So, what's going on?
Status update.
Perimeter stable. Holding position.
Okay, listen to that. So if you're the writer here, so he wants to enter this complex, right? You heard the voice, perimeter stable. So they don't know he's there. They don't know he's here. Which, you know what that means? He could go around. He could go around that shed there. He could go around that shack to the left. Keep hiding, right? Why? This is a choice right here. Ready? This is his choice. His choice is to absolutely brutally murder this guy like fucking Freddy Krueger. Look at the woman. You can't make this up. She's literally fearing for her life, rightfully so, because she's about to get. Look at this. I'm 5 seconds into this video. I'm sorry. I don't think I'm going to make it through, but this is going to be way too long of a video. But look at this. Should this exist in the game, everybody? I'm sorry. Okay. Maybe once he does it to a dude, right? Like the final boss, right? It could almost be a humorous moment, stabs him in the nuts. But to some random woman goon who, he could have easily just cleverly disarmed. No, we're going to first murder her vagina first. Let's start with her vagina. There we go. Absolutely brutal.